part, and you can rewatch this later. All right, let's come back. Okay, so on the first page, okay, you can see on my screen, then I encourage you to embrace the change. Okay, this change is necessary. And the change here, okay, it comes after 5 years after the after the closes, after the uh, most recent change in 2018. Okay, now 2023, and they update that is necessary because during 5 years we can see a lot of disruption. Okay, especially the COVID and recent geopolitical conflicts arising in Europe and in Middle East. Okay, and other places around the world. So change come regularly, and SIP just does their job. And I think that the change is necessary. Okay, so embrace it. Okay. Second, then actually, if you pay attention to the cover of the new syllabus, okay, you can download that from SIP website. You can see that it is not actually a totally new syllabus, but uh, they use the word 2018 syllabus version 2. Okay, you can see that on the top, 2018 syllabus version 2 and the reference number, right? So actually, it is not a total revamp of the syllabus, just an updated version. Okay, just like it is this one, it is that one, but not totally change the structure or the model. So first, I want to talk about what have not changed, okay, which include the exam format. We still have 8 modules, and each module will have a certain type of exam. Okay, FRM1 and FRM8 still have CI exam. And from FRM2 to FRM7, then we still have oral exam. Okay, that's all. That's all. So they are not changed. The exam format is not changed. But what changed is more subtle, and we need to look at the details. Okay, the change is very subtle. It's kind of like just some trick, that just some edit version of the syllabus. Okay, the first notable change is about CI exam. Okay, it is very notable. You can download the exam guide from the SIP website, okay, in the student hub. And if you look at the number of common words, then I can see that they have reduced the number of common words. Okay, instead of listing about like 20 common words, then in level 4, then we only have about 8 to 9 common words. And especially we have a new common word. Okay, it is calculate. It is calculate, right? So what kind of calculation we need to make? I believe that in format and maybe in form one, then you need to prepare for new calculation exercise, like calculate the financial ratio from the table of information, from a table of number, and maybe calculate the total cost of ownership, or recent, then they change the total cost ownership into a new, okay, they use the term whole life cost rather than total cost ownership. Okay, so in the new syllabus, then TCO is updated with new term. Right, and this is very, I think that this is a very notable change. Okay, especially in CR exam. And during this event, then I will help you to discover other subtle change, other very small change within each module, okay? And what can be the implication on your exam and exam preparation. All right, okay, let's start one by one, starting with Form 1. Okay, First, with F1, then you can see that the structure is kept like overall the structure is intact. Okay, we don't see much change on the structure, but the change is pretty subtle. If you look at the syllabus and compare them like this, like what I do right here, okay, then you can see pretty subtle change, right? Okay, let's compare here. This is the on the left, it is the 2018 syllabus version 1, and on the right, then it is version 2. Okay, you can see that in 1.1. Then in version 1, it starts with the definition of procurement purchasing. Okay, and then the typical breakdown, stock and non-stock. Okay, comparison between direct and indirect. In version 2, then everything of definition is bundled into 1.1. Okay, the definition of procurement, supply chain management, purchasing, supply chain tiring, uh, logistic material, waste management, and closed loop recycling. Everything bundled here. Okay, and the comparison between stock, non stock, or direct, indirect is moved to 1.3. Pretty notable. Okay, you can see that. Okay, so this is just a rearrangement, and I think that it doesn't have much impact on your exam preparation because overall, then you have the same kind of question. You may see the question on the far right or the comparison between direct, indirect, CAPEX and OPEX. Okay, and some question on defining supply chain management, etc. Okay, so just some rearrangement and not much change. Okay, however, you can see that then we have some kind of new information. Okay, very small new one. Right. In a new syllabus, then we can see there is a new part on complex supply chain and how to manage the complex supply chain. Okay. And they put more emphasis on the closed loop recycling. Okay, closed loop recycling. Right. Okay, so we can expect that in chapter 1, question number 1 of F1 may focus more on recycling. There may be some question on recycling. Okay, that is the first impact. Right, I summarize here. All definitions are presented at the beginning from in 1.1. And the complex supply chain is better elaborated in the study guide. Okay, we have more information about material measurement, waste measurement, and closed loop recycling. Okay, moving on with 1.2, that is about the fire rights. That is about the fire rights and other added value in procurement. Okay, in the fire rights, then if you look at the book carefully and put two books together, then you can see that with the fire right, then they add more information about right price. Okay, update with some method how procurement can manage the right price. Okay, I think that it is better elaborated, and you may see the same question. Okay, and actually, with the new study guide, then it is easier for you to learn and prepare for your exam. Okay, that is a pretty small one. Right. This change is more notable. Okay, instead of just using the total cost of ownership, then in the new study guide, SIP want to highlight the big difference. Okay, the difference between TCA, TCO, LCC, WLC. Okay, TCA is total cost of acquisition. TCO is total cost of ownership. LCC is life cycle costing, and WLC is whole life cost. And they clearly stated in the study guide that they will use WRC as the uh, standard term to describe this practice. Okay. Anyway, then throughout the study guides from FM1 to FM8, then I can see that WRC is quite is the most used one, is the most frequently used word for this practice. So it is just a change in the term, and I don't see it may have some kind of great impact on how you prepare the exam. Okay, just remember that now we don't say much about TCL, but we tend to use the word WRC. Okay, whole life cycle. Sorry, whole life cost. Okay, with other part, okay, with the comparison between different type of just, then you can see that we have two new things, two new parts. Okay, we have the utility procurement and commodity procurement. Okay, you can read that from the study guide. And if exact, then they can ask you the definition and the practice in these areas. Okay, with more traditional, like stock, non-stock, or direct, indirect, then I can see some updated information and uh, they include more information, okay, more details in these areas. Okay? And again, then it does not have direct impact on the question. Just help you help you prepare better for your exam. With 1.4 on stakeholder measurement, then absolutely there is no change, not even the slightest change. Okay, that is chapter one of paper one. Right, we move on with chapter two. Okay, with chapter one, then we don't have MRP and ERP anymore. All of them are included in chapter three. Sorry, which stakeholder? I forgot to say that. Which stakeholder? Then in the former version, in version one, then stakeholder are categorized as internal and external only. With version two, then they are categorized as internal, external, and connected. Okay, you can know the implication here. Okay, internal are our college, procurement colleges, are the departments. External are the stakeholders that does not have the contractual relationship with with the organization. Okay, like the government, local government, and the media, local community, and the connected stakeholder include the organizations that have uh, contractual relationship with the organization. Okay, maybe like the suppliers, like the banks. Okay, suppliers like the banks. Okay, and other service providers for the organization. Okay, so this is just small change in categorization. However, then in the exam, then you should say that there are three groups of stakeholder. With the way to manage stakeholder, then we still use the Mendelow's matrix, okay, as usual. Right, let's move on with chapter two. Here, then the first two parts of chapter two have no notable change. They just change in the title. Okay, and I agree that with this kind of rearrangement, then it improved the readability of the study guide. Okay, 2.1, part 2.1 explain uh, what we do, what procurement does in SIP procurement cycle, and 2.2 focus on the added value and on the reason why we should why we should do that. Okay, and we have some more subtle change. Okay, within each stage, then they may add more information like the inclusion of specification in tender document. Okay, we should, okay, it kind of like how specification should be included in the tender document and when we should send them. Okay, this is an addition, right? And more notably, then we have the importance of pre-contract and post-contract award stages. Okay, like what kind of value it can add to the organization, that kind of thing. Okay, so with this kind of information, then we may expect that if you have some question about SIP recruitment cycle, then you should explain more about the value of the state you are mentioning. Which stage number 9 older in the older study guides, then I see that the involvement here is not very well explained. Okay, only very brief introduction into the stage, but in the new one, then we have more thorough explanation with some new case study. Normally, with the part that is slightly edited, then the case study, the blue bars, you can see the book has not changed, but with the new one. Okay, for example, this stage number 9, then we have a very fresh new case study. The same thing happened to other modules as well. Okay, and we have more elaborated contract management. Right. With part 2.3 on e-procurement. Okay, on e-procurement electronic system. Okay, we also have some kind of rearrangement. Okay, in version 1 on the left, then okay, you can see that we had 5 types of e-system. Okay, on the right, you can see that, okay, notably, we have e-requisition, e-catalog, e-auction, e-tendering, and online supplier evaluation system. Okay, so e-sourcing, e-ordering, and e-payment is removed from the first part, okay, from 2.3.1. Okay, you see that. Okay, so I think that in chapter 2, this is the CR exam. So in chapter 2, then we don't have that kind of question that asks you to explain about all 5 types of e-system anymore. We may have the question already a new question on online supply evaluation system. Okay, explaining that kind of system. Okay, explaining about e-auction and e-tendering. Okay, and e-sourcing. Actually, it is not removed. Just okay, it is just kind of like moved. Okay, rearranged to other part like 2.3.2 and 2.2.3. And absolutely, P2P system is absent. Okay, actually it is absent and completely removed from chapter 2. Okay, in chapter 3, then you can see some brief introduction here, brief introduction into uh, P2P. But in chapter 2, then P2P has disappeared. Okay, you can see that right from the syllabus, right from syllabus. Okay, no more P2P. Okay, just the use of all of these e-system in the shipment cycle. And in 2.2, 2.3.2 and 2.3.3, then we can see about e-ordering, e-sourcing, and e-payment. Okay, so it is kind of like an rearrangement. Okay, and also when I look at more detailed information, then we also have some new systems like warehousing and logistics system, contract management, access management, that kind of thing. So the question on each system in new F1 would be more complex, and you may expect new content or new question here. Okay, P2P is moved from chapter 2 and actually it is added to chapter 3. 2.4, it is traditionally a very challenging part for many students, and with the version 1 of syllabus, okay, and with the exam from 2023 backward, okay, this part pose a pretty challenge to many students. With the version 2, then we have some name change, but actually the content still very similar. Okay, just some small tweak, okay, and not very notable. Right. With chapter 3, okay, we can see also some kind of rearrangement with the length is largely intact. Okay, the length of chapter 3 is pretty the same. You can see that, in right in 3.1. Then we have the part on ILO convention. Okay, it moved from uh, 3.2 to 3.1. Okay, you can see it here. ILO SIP code conduct are all included in 3.1. Okay, and with 3.2, then it is mostly the same. Okay, except that we don't have the IO anymore. With 3.3, then also a rearrangement. Okay, with the role and status of procurement supply chain management come first. Okay, just a rearrangement. Then it comes with the centralized and decentralized structure. Okay, just rearrangement and not very notable change. Okay, and with 3.4, we have a small part. We have a small addition. Okay, that is 3.4.5. System used to support e-sourcing, e-tendering, and e-auction. Okay, that is a new part. However, I have not imagined what kind of question you may meet here. Okay, and look at the details. Okay, look at the details in either book, either study guide. Then I see that they have added some small part like the use of procurement manual or the role and status of procurement and supply chain management within different type of organization in public sector, private sector, and third sector. It actually kept like more explanation for clarity rather than completely new information. Similarly, then MRP, ERP are elaborated with more information. Okay, and moving on with chapter 4. Okay, moving on with chapter 4, and you know that with chapter 4, then we focus on different sectors public sector, private sector, and third sector, and how they impact on procurement activities in these sectors. Um, First, with public sector, then I can see that the objective here has been updated. Okay, in the former version, in the version one. Then we have the first with public sector, then one of the objective is improve services. Second one is about support the communities. The third one is about the uh, social contribution. Okay, but the third um, objective in new study guide is updated. Okay, instead of just some kind of social value, now they extend that into social value, equality, diversity, and inclusion. Okay, so it is wider. Okay, public sector should focus on ensuring fair opportunity, okay, better diversity, and inclusive environment for everyone to join. Okay, that one is updated and kind of like it looks like a new part. Okay, it looks like a new part. So if you have an exam on this, if you need to write the answer for public sector, then you may see the objective here is updated with the new one. Okay, and with the procedure, then they also add framework agreement as one of the possible procedure in public sector. You can see similar change in private sector. Okay, with the objective, then um, they update some key objective. Okay, first with the profitability, the objective of profit, the objective profit. Then they use the word economic viability rather than just profit. Okay, and they also update the CSR, corporate social responsibility with ESG, with ESG. Okay, and within this part, then they add a small comparison between ESG and CSR. Overall, then we could say that ESG is more specific and measurable than CSR. CSR is more kind of like ambiguous and it doesn't have any way to measure CSR. With ESG, then it is easier to measure. Okay, and with the third sector, then there are part uh, there are parts that change. Okay, it is about how to align procurement activity with the organizational context. Okay, how to align procurement activity with organizational context. And with this part, then I think that they have done a pretty good job on um, keep keep the syllabus up to date, on keep the study guide up to date with current economic situation. Okay, so that is the change in alpha 1. You can see that then it kind of like an updated version. Some change here, some change there, but not overall revamp of the syllabus. Some change here, some change there. Okay, add more this, remove this, rearrangement. Okay, cap like we can see an updated version with new cover, but mostly similar content, except for some area, except for some area. And if you're lucky, then the upcoming exam may be pretty the same as the one in November or May this year. Okay, now let's move on with F1 2. And I can say that if you see F1 um, has pretty small change. Then F12 has even smaller change, even smaller change. Okay, very subtle change. Okay, so first with the chapter one, then we have more information on pricing strategies. Okay, like penetration pricing or okay, skimming pricing, dynamic pricing, premium pricing, all those kind of things. Okay, and we have more elaboration on PCA model, purchase cost analysis model. Okay, now they emphasize more on this, even though in the former in the form of study guide, they already have this. Now they just extend that model. Okay, update the total cost ownership with whole life cost. Okay, just like the thing you can see from F1, and add a small part on financial modeling in 1.4. Okay, and now they don't use the word benchmarking, but they use the word competitor analysis. Right. So pretty small change, just renaming and some small addition. I can expect that they can have a few about 2 or 3 new question here, but not very notable change. Okay, in chapter 2, the most notable change, the most big change here is about the update of uh, BCG matrix into product lifecycle. In case that you don't know what BCG matrix is, then it is a Boston Consulting Group matrix. It is a way to categorize your product and the market so that you can focus on which product to develop and which product to marketing and improve the sale in a certain market. Okay, now they merge that matrix into product lifecycle. Previously, then this matrix is only mentioned in alpha M6. Okay, and now they also mentioned that in alpha M2. Right. Let's come with chapter 3. Okay, with chapter 3, then um this one is the uh has the most notable change from previous syllabus, from the previous version. Okay, so let me compare here, right? Okay, you can see that first in chapter 3, then they first mentioned about the sources information with the former version. Then the sources come after conformance, performance. They are the standards, they are the internet, the suppliers, and the directory. With the new one, then I think they do pretty good job here. They bring the sources of information first. Okay, how you can consult external sources information to draft your specification. Okay, we can use the standard. We can use internal expertise and knowledge. Okay, these are a new addition. Okay, other product specification, sustainability consideration, and internet sources. Okay, so we have new sources here. Internal expertise and knowledge, which is not highlighted in the formal version. Okay, sustainability consideration, not highlighted in formal version. Okay, other product specification, not here, not in formal version. So we have new sources and potentially new question here. With conformance and performance specification, then there are some small change. The new version confirmed that conformance specification may include the brand, and also confirm that performance specification may include the functional specification. Okay, in the former one, you can see that output, outcome, statement of work are performance. But in the new one, then performance include output, outcome, functional specification, and also statement of work. If you look at the book, okay, small change here, but the more notable change is about the source of information to create the specification. With 3.2. With 3.2. Then rather than use the word through line specification, they use the word, okay, developing specification, supporting procurement and supply arrangement. Pretty long name. However, then, okay, there not much change. There is not much change. Okay, still scope, still definition, still description, still testing as a certain. I see that in testing a certain, then they have lengthened. They have lengthened the path and also include the ongoing testing of the product. Okay, change control mechanism and remedies. Still same thing. Okay, this one is more notable. Social and environmental criteria is turned into ESG criteria. Okay, so they are just more specific on this thing. Okay, and also they update the value analysis with more information. Okay, just update and not very big change. Add more information here. Okay, that is F12. You can see that. Then, okay, if F1 just update, then F12 also just update, and even, okay, less update. With F13, then the module is largely pretty similar to the older one. So first chapter mostly update with some new information like comparing between schedule, annex, and appendix. And they group the contractual terms, the use of standard terms, and info contract under the umbrella contract documentation. And about the condition for enforceable contract, we know that there are five: offer, acceptance, consideration, uh, okay, legally, sorry, intention to be legally bound, and the capacity. Now they offer one more condition, which is the, okay, be legally binding. But I don't actually understand what do they mean here, and they don't explain this. Okay, so now there are six conditions for enforceable contract. Okay, along with offer, acceptance, consideration, intention to be bound, and capacity. Now we have be legally binding. Okay, but why they include this is not well elaborated, and I don't see any explanation. And with the new syllabus, then the invitation to treat is separated from offer and explained in separate part. Okay, you can see that from the comparison here. Right, right here. Sorry, actually, it is not a change. Okay, so first, sorry, actually in the study guide, it is different from syllabus. In syllabus, then they come with invitation to treat first, but in the study guide, they come with the offer and acceptance first. So Capline, they just want to keep the content of study guide um, consistent. They just want to keep the content study guide consistent with the content in the syllabus, in the introduction, right? You see that the structure is very similar here. Okay, 1.3. Okay, and I can say that in 1.3, there's no change. Still one of purchases, still framework agreement, still mini compensation, co-op, service contract, and high lease. Okay, no change here. Okay, and we can see more notable change in chapter 2. And actually, then you can be happy. Okay, you can be satisfied that in chapter 2, then SIP cut off some unnecessary pieces of information. Now you can see that okay, we have this is the version 2. We have benefits and risks of market dialogue. Okay, so they explain more about market dialogue. You can see that they instruct on drafting the specification. So they have removed the typical section of a specification. Okay, they still keep standardization. They also remove the uh, information assurance. Okay, okay, all of these pieces of information are unnecessary, so they are removed. Also, they remove this one, including social and environmental criteria. I think that although this is still up to date, although still this is relevant to our day-to-day job, but I think SIP doesn't want to make overlapping parts across different modules. Okay, like between between F1 2 and F1 3. Okay, you can learn about the sustainability criteria in F1 2, and in F1 3, then they remove this from specification, remove this from 2.1. Okay, so 2.1 is significantly shortened. Okay, they remove some unnecessary thing. Okay, and they focus more on ESG. Actually, the part on ESG is pretty new here. Right. And in chapter 3 of F1 3, then there's no change, still the same thing. Express implied term, stated term condition, modified contract. Okay, key term like indemnity, insurance, subcontracting, guarantee, and liquidated damages, and different type of pricing schedules. Okay, let's move on with F4 and 4. And among 8 modules, then we have F1, F4, and F8. All of them are the modules that have very significant change. Okay, just relatively. Okay, mostly with F4, this is good news for you. Okay, it is shorter. Okay, before this new syllabus, then you know that F4 is very long, and it has the lowest pass rate among the SIP modules in level 4. But with the edit, then that is not a fact anymore. Okay, F4 is not the longest anymore. Okay, it actually become the shortest. Why? Because in F4 we don't have the ratio calculation anymore. We don't have that anymore. Also, along with other parts. Okay, so with F4, then it is heavily edited. Okay, in the way that they remove much thing. They remove many things from F4. They strip F4 from financial ratios. We only care. Now you can just look at okay, you can just look at the sourcing, strategic sourcing, and international sourcing. You don't need to care about financial ratio in F4 anymore. Okay, they also add some rearrangement. Okay, more detail on company trading and it is within the make and buy decision. Okay, and with F1 although they still mention about financial statement, all of the financial ratios are removed from F1 and they are actually moved to F8. Okay, so in F8, then you should expect that there could be more question on financial ratio calculation. Okay, and in this chapter one, we also have the ESG ethical criteria due diligence as part of the process, as part of the supplier selection process. With chapter two, then it kind of like uh, take some content from chapter three and move here. Actually, in chapter two, then we have we I see that then we have some kind of taking chapter three into here and making it more relevant by talking about sourcing activities in different sector, public sector, private sector, and third sector. And also now it mostly focused on sourcing like from like selecting supplier for tendering, making tendering, and also evaluation of tender and award the contract. Okay, it focus more on that aspect and not with other thing. Okay, and with F14, then previously we had four chapters. Now we only have three. Now we only have three, and most most content of chapter four is now merged into chapter three. You can still see the Incoterms, international sourcing, and importation documentation here. Okay, in chapter three, right? And they update the Incoterm with 2020 version. And all other parts of chapter 4 from 4.1 to 4.4 are now merged into parts of the chapter 3. Okay, 4.2 become 3.3, 4.3 become 3.4, and 4.1 become 3.5. Okay, and 4.1 become 3.1. Okay, so a lot of rearrangement, but the content is pretty similar, just some update information. Okay, and regarding the international payment, then we have some rename, renaming. Open account now become create account, and sign up, turn up is made into bill exchange. Okay, they are brought under the umbrella of bill exchange. Okay, that is a form and it changed in a way that I think very beneficial for the student. You don't need to remember very long information. You don't need to be confused between different type of financial ratio. Now, you can just focus on sourcing and import, export, and also import. Okay, and ethical and responsible sourcing. So I don't think it will become a module that has the lowest pass rate anymore. Okay, the pass rate will be improved after this change. Okay, you can see that previously then we have four chapters. Now we only have three, and many content are removed from from four. Okay, now we look at F-45 and what have changed. Okay, with inform 5, then I see that the content are highly stable. Okay, just some rearrangement. In chapter 1, then we have Batna and Zopa move to chapter 2. Okay, we move Batna and Zopa to chapter 2. Okay, that is the most notable thing. Okay, in chapter 2, then they elaborate on how we can collect information on macro and microeconomic condition. And they also update the COVID-19 pandemic and with a new case study, okay, on the choice of location when we talk about negotiation. Okay, like COVID-19 has made business trip become obsolescent. Okay, and most of us will use this kind of video conferencing like Zoom for meeting and negotiation. Okay, that is the impact of COVID-19. And this is one of the very few modules that I see that they have mentioned about very recent change like COVID-19. Most of other case study are still from 2018 and they don't update that with more recent examples from 2020 or 2021. Okay, and with chapter 3, then just rearrangement. Okay, and with some new information on how to protect the relationship after negotiation. Okay, now F 6. Okay, you can see that F 5, the change in F 5 is very very trivial, and there's not much change. Okay, so it is largely very similar to the previous one. F 6, F 6, then I can see that in your Form 6, then we have some kind of editing that also similar to F4. And actually, they remove the part on competitive strategy. Okay, I don't see cost leadership, differentiation, and focus strategies anymore. Okay, instead, we only focus on the spectrum. We only see the true matrices, butterfly forces, steeple, and ESG in 1.4. Okay, with relationship spectrum, then they have an adapted version. Okay, okay, with relationship spectrum, we still start with the arm's length, then adversarial, arm's length, transactional. Okay, the former one has closer technical, but the new one has moderate, okay, and bespoke. And then single source, outsource, and then strategic alliance. Okay, now strategic alliance is separated into strategic and collaborative, and then to partnership, and then to co-destiny. Okay, so the spectrum has some new kind of relationship, okay, like moderate and bespoke relationship, and strategic relationship and collaborative. Okay, so we have longer spectrum, longer spectrum. Okay, right. With chapter 2, then also very similar to the former one. Okay, we have adjourning in team development stages from forming, storming, norming, performing, and then adjourning. In the former one, then we don't have adjourning because they say that it is not necessary to input in FM6. Now they have that. They input adjourning here. Okay, that is okay. Okay, very small change. And with chapter 3, in the former version, then most of chapter 3 is written from a research paper by Douglas Lambert. Now they don't use that reference anymore. They don't use that document anymore. Instead, they use their own material to explain. Okay, they use the model like SIP partnering spectrum, SIP partnering spectrum, and also introduce different driver, some kind of like updated drivers for partnership and other material as well. And they also have the process for partnership implementation. Okay, so with partnership, then they update with more with newer sources, with updated sources and new materials. This may have impact on the question you see. Okay, it may have some kind of new question or the same question with different answers. Okay, kind of like pretty pretty big change in F6. All right, with F7, then along with the barcode, we have QR code. Okay, actually QR is pretty popular in recent years, especially when electronic payment is accelerated after COVID-19. Okay, so QR code now become ubiquitous. Okay, it appear everywhere. Right, so we have a new part on QR code, just an updated version of 2D code, 2D barcode. Okay, and furthermore, they add more information about MRP and ERP, and also a small part on inventory optimization. Okay, with chapter 3, then the content is very similar to the form 1. And actually, merge different, they just merge different cost entry into uh, bigger title, into bigger title. Right. And with chapter 3, they now mostly talk about the packaging, and recycling, and replace the term TCO with WRC, with whole life cost. Okay, just similar to other modules. Okay, and finally, this is alphabet. Alphabet. With alphabet, then we have a pretty big rearrangement, and I think that we need to look at it by here. Right. With chapter 1, you can see that with chapter 1 here. Then in the version 2 on the right, okay, we have different heading, and actually it reflects how things have changed in the new one. Okay, we start with the holistic application of SIP cycle. Actually, it is just the new description. Okay, some kind of pre-explanation of SIP cycle, step by step. Okay, and then defining needs, market analysis, supply evaluation, tendering process, supply and stable measurement are completely removed from chapter 1. Actually, they are included in chapter 2. Okay, uh, so the rest of chapter 1 focus on new topic like the benefits and limitation of structural procurement processes and the application of procurement processes in different sectors. So in chapter 1, okay, in chapter 1 of FOMET, then you can expect new question. Okay, we don't see the question on the role of defining needs or different market analysis tools and marketing tools, or explain or describe the tendering process anymore. Now we're going to see new question on the difference between public and private sector, or public and third sector. Also, we can see the question on structure procurement process. Okay, what is structure procurement process and the relationship between this process and the achievement outcome, for example. Okay. However, you can still see the question on SIP procurement cycle, okay, describing different stages of SIP procurement cycle. However, okay, you can still use some kind of practice question of chapter one in chapter two because everything, okay, the former chapter one, most of the former chapter one is now moved to chapter two. Okay, so the question on defining needs, market analysis tools, and tendering process, you can now see them in chapter two instead of chapter one. Okay, so all these things here, all these things I highlight on this screen is now moved to 2.1.1. Okay, they are moved to 2.1.1, right? Okay, all everything I highlight on the left is now moved to the thing I highlight on the right. Okay, and with 2.1, okay, with chapter 2 in form 1 in the version 1, then they will be highlighted in 2.2.1. And okay, very important thing with 2.3, then we focus exclusively on the calculation. Okay, calculate performance indicator, assess benefit and limitation of calculating them, calculate and comment on fixed and variable costs. Right, more calculation here. Okay, so this will be the very major change in chapter 2. And I can see that with this kind of new structure, then the question number 2 in FMH will have the most diverse type question you can see in the qualification. And this one is a CR1. So I expect that the difficulty of FMH will be greatly increased. Okay, you should prepare for this. You should prepare for this. Okay, very notable change in format and the rest of format are largely similar. Okay, they are largely similar. Just some updated information on on public-private sector and also on ESG. Okay, the rest are pretty similar. Okay, and with chapter 4, right? They just merge the part together, and also the change here is still pretty trivial in compare with chapter 2. So what can be the implication here? Okay, so you can see that chapter 1, new one. Okay, we have new content, but the new content, the change in chapter 2 is even bigger, right? And with chapter 3 and chapter 4, then it is just some kind of small update and not very big change. Okay, it just support the content from 2018, sorry, from version 1. Okay, so what could be the implication? Okay, across the modules, then you can see that there's some kind of new content. Okay, consistent new content on ESG, on the renaming of total cost ownership. Okay, and with FORM8, then I think that it would become more challenging with the financial statement calculation. Sorry, with financial ratio calculation, with fixed cost, variable cost calculation, break-even point calculation. So, okay, embrace yourself in the calculation and also try to practice with the financial ratios with the break-even point. Okay, so they are the thing I see I have studied from SIP recent change. And all of these studied, all of these kind of research I do on my own. And I just put two books together and I look at the what have changed in two books. Okay, so it is just my own investigation and it does not present any official ship, any official ship opinion. However, this is my own research, and I think that I have done a pretty thorough job, okay, on this. And I hope that it will be helpful for you in preparing for the new syllabus in 2024 exam. All right, now I need, okay, I will come to the uh, main screen and look at your uh, chat. Okay, what kind of question may come at me? Okay, I have some question like sharing the note. Of course, I will share with you. Okay, um, okay, you can contact us with the email uh, evocument@evocument.edu.vn. Okay, something like this. Right. Okay, you can contact this email when you want to take the note, or you can contact us on WhatsApp. Okay, let me type my number on WhatsApp. Okay, contact us and I can send you the note and also the recording of today session, today event. Okay, contact us with by two way, either by email or by WhatsApp. Okay, plus 84 387 301 575. Right, that is our contact. Okay, you can take them down. You can note them down. Okay, I have the question from Ruth Asemi. When are these changes taking place? Okay, they already take place. They already take place, and they will be applied in from March 2024 onward. Okay, in the exam. Okay, Ragano, he asked that, could I share the note to your emails? Of course, I can share this, but you know that then I don't have everyone email. Okay, some people register with their email, but other one I'm not sure that I have your email. So a better way is to contact us, and I can reply you with the note. Okay, any other question? Right, from Suraf. Okay, from Suraf. Then I can see your question here. What strategy should we take to pass L4 and 1? Right. Um, with L4 and 1, then it is a CI exam. And the way that we study CI exam would be a bit different. With CI exam, then you should generate the many questions as possible. Okay, you should practice with your own writing and also have someone to check with your writing. Okay, that is the way that I suggest you with a form one. And furthermore, with F1 one to generate the question, then you can base that on the LO and AC of F1 one. Okay, based on the learning outcome here. Okay, like this one. Okay, like you can put yourself some question like how to define procurement supply chain or compare between the direct indirect costs. Okay, that kind of thing. So that is a way that you can maximize your chance of practicing. However, you should have someone check on you with your writing. Okay, and that is why you can prepare for F1. Okay, then I have question from Asha. Will there be practice question papers beyond revised syllabus? Of course, we are doing that. We are updating our practice question on Udemy. Okay, and you know that I did decent research on the topic, so you can believe that. Then I will keep them up to date as soon as possible. I'm doing that, already doing that, but it takes a longer time than I think. So be patient. We can release them as early as January and February 2024 before you take March exam. Okay, and question from Adi Rahim. Okay, how many subjects can someone can cover in one exam month? Okay, you can write all 8 modules, but for a higher chance of success, then you should only take 1, 2, or 3 modules. Right. So I see that many people are interested in my note, in my slide. Okay, I see that I have attracted a lot of attention to my slide. So everyone trying to ask me for the note. Of course, I will send you as long as I know your email. Okay, but in case that you don't know, then just email this one. Okay, write to this one. Okay, I text that on in chat box. Right. Kelly Bogile says, does this mean we can still use the past exam papers for revision? In fact, I see that we can use most of them for revision, except as you can see, then there are some remove part, there are some remove errors. So the question on these error would be obsolete. Okay. Furthermore, I can expect that there will be newer question, but the rate of new question can be like 20% or 30%. Okay, the point of using practice exam is, sorry, the past paper exam uh is not about like you hope you see the same question in the exam, but you use the question to practice. It means that you need to look at your weakness and check your preparation. Okay, you cannot just rely on past exam paper to expect that you will have the same thing in the exam. Okay, you just use them to check yourself. Okay, on that regard, then other paper you can see from WhatsApp group can be used. Okay, you can use them to check your understanding, but not use that to expect that you will see the same thing in the exam. Okay, and I think that you can still use the past exam paper. Okay, but with the new one, with the updated version, then I can see that we can have new question, we can have remove question and obsolete area. So, okay, the rate of change could be like 20 to 30%. Okay, according to my estimate. Right. Any other question? Okay, Joey, I'm writing them. I'm writing practice question Okay, I'm updating the practice question for defining need. Okay, ethical responsible sourcing, FM1 and FM8. Okay, I'm doing that. So just be patient and I'm updating them. Okay. Um, After summarizing what have changed, then I can focus on okay adding new question or remove the unnecessary one. Okay. Any other question? And one of the advantage that if you use my test on Udemy, then you can always access to the most updated version. Okay, we do that almost every exam series. Okay, um, we always okay update the new question or at least edit the older one with more relevant explanation and so on. Right? Um, any other question? Do you have any question on recent change? Okay, and do you have any question on recent change and the implication on the exam? Okay, I can see that Abdirahim is very new to SIP and okay, you are asking very basic question, right? Okay, what are exam methods and is there any cost-free variants? Right. Each country will have different exam costs and fee. Okay. I don't know where you are from, but you can check the fee on SIP website. Okay, there will be a dedicated web page to help you on the calculation. And second, on exam method, then okay, and about the exam method, then we have two major exam method. Okay, two major format. CR and OR. CR exam are essay exam. You need to answer the question with an essay. And oral exam are kept like multiple choice. You need to select the right answer from the screen. So F1 and F8 are essay exams, while other modules are oral exam are multiple choice. Okay, so for each module, we have different area of knowledge. We have different way to revise and practice. Right, and we have the question from Tenduaji. Okay, I know you. Okay, is it advisable to write a format? Right, I think that with a format, then at least you should wait for May. And okay, anyone who attend to try in March would be very brave since it has pretty high rate of change. Okay, so for you, if you want to have safer choice, then I would say that you should defer that until May. Until May. Okay, wait for the March and see what kind of question come in March before we decide to sit the exam in May 2024, of course. Uh, Navin Kumar, which is the toughest and which is the easy module in level 4. Okay, with the new change, I believe that the format now become pretty tough to write. Okay, and other OR module, like from F1 2 to F1 7, I think that they are very equal in the term of difficulty. Okay, even now, then I see that F1 4 is a lot easier than the version 1. Okay, and for anyone new to SIP, then I think that the best module to start with is either okay F1 2 or F1 5 or F1 6. Actually, I advise you to take F1 6 first because they don't have much technical knowledge. Okay, their okay the knowledge in F1 6 is quite like pretty straightforward, and you can use your common sense to understand. Okay, and it doesn't require you to have much technical knowledge. Otherwise, with F1 2 or F1 3, okay, sorry, with F1 3 or F1 4 or F1 7, then they have pretty their knowledge is pretty technical. With F1 3, then you should have some background in legal, in uh, okay, in legal science to understand them. With F1 7, then if you don't have any background in warehousing or inventory management, then it could be pretty challenging. And with F1 4, then it could be challenging regarding the international sourcing, like import documentation, Incoterm, or so on. Okay, so that is my opinion. You can start with F1 6 or F1 5. Okay, they are actually in F1 5, then you may have difficulty in microeconomic and the costing. So F1 6 is kind of like more favorable. Okay, F1 2, F1 6, they're kind of like favorable. So you can start with them. And furthermore, with F1 6, then the change is not very kind of notable, very slight change, very slight. Okay, uh, they just did with more information and not much with the and not restructure much thing. So F6 it kind of like very favorable for anyone new or anyone want to continue their SIP. Okay, renew their SIP part, the SIP study route in 2024. Right. So I expect that in 2024, in March 2024, then L4M8 will be pretty tough. And I cannot predict any specific question here. Uh, However, we are doing our best in updating the practice question on EDME for the new syllabus. Okay, Naveen, it's a pretty nice idea. That is a pretty nice idea. Okay, prepare one bar chart with the change. However, it is very hard to quantify the change. It is very hard to quantify the change. So the bar chart would be, it kind of like when you do the bar chart, you need to quantify, you need to have quantitative analysis. But many changes here are not quantitative, they are qualitative. So it's very hard for me to design a bar chart for such change. Right. From Mohammed, okay, what are major challenges of F1 5? Okay, with many students, then F1 5 is pretty hard about, okay, the costing. We have different method of costing. We have different pricing method, and also on macro and microeconomics, macro and microeconomics. With F1 5, then if you didn't study the macro and macroeconomics from your college, then that kind of error could be new, and you can take it can take you a lot of time to understand and uh, get the idea behind that. Okay, otherwise, then with Form 5, other part like the techniques in negotiation or the approaches in negotiation is they are quite straightforward and you can be confident on that. Okay, however, you should not be complacent. And with the recent change, then I can see that the reading time for Form 5 is very similar. Okay, you don't need to take longer time to read and understand the content from Form 5. Okay, I hope my answer satisfy you. Right. Um, okay, does anyone have any other question? Right. Okay, so I think that then today I just presented a lot of information about the change. Okay, and I hope that okay by this event, then I can help you to understand what changed and how you should prepare for your March and May and other exams from 2024 onward. Okay, and today then it is the 23rd of December and it's very close to the Christmas. So to anyone follow the Christianity or Protestant for Protestantism, then I wish you very um, Merry Christmas. Okay, very Happy Christmas, and also to any other one who doesn't celebrate the Christmas, then I wish that you will have a successful 2024. Okay, good luck with your study. Okay, and be success with SIP. Okay, I believe that with right assistant, then you will have okay a great 24 onward. Okay, very great 2024 ahead. Okay, thank you everyone for joining my event today. And uh, okay, I hope to see you again in future exam, in future event. Okay, thank you and enjoy your holiday.